Welcome back to the 15th session of Communicative English. I am Dr. Archana Ganesh from the Department of Humanities and Social Sciences, and I am going to continue on Module 3. We are about to begin with Module 3, and here we are going to talk about the speaking skills, how publicly you are supposed to speak. Before we begin, I will share an anecdote. Once a speaker, she was very nervous and she was supposed to speak in a symposium for a student. There was a huge audience she was expecting. She really toiled very hard. She worked very hard. Her husband supported her a lot and made her practice till the day she was well prepared. She even took a set of the cards, those index cards where you can write your details, you put them so that one after the other you can change them and you can interact. But then what she did was that she practiced hard, and on the day of the presentation her husband took a day off. He went with her so that she doesn't feel that nervous and she should have a known face around her. It really settles our nerves down if we have a look at a familiar face who gives us a very loving and assuring smile that yes, I'm there, don't worry, go ahead, you are doing a fabulous job. It really gives us an impetus to speak. The moment she stepped up on the to walk up to the dais, somehow she, stumbled and all her index cards, they flew. All 24 cards were scattered. The professor came up, he chivalrously helped her out and collected all the cards and gave it to her. There was a rumble of laughter behind her because the audience was somewhat taking a very good laugh at it. She gathered the cards and she gathered herself. She went to the mic and she said that for the presentation, for a wonderful presentation, for an effective presentation, there are two things that you should remember. One, if you have made index cards, they should be numbered. Her index cards were not numbered. So she threw them aside and she said, secondly, if you are well prepared and you have confidence on your subject matter, you don't need index cards. Yes, that is what is needed in public speaking. Once I came across a quote by Dale Carnegie. He said, "A mind is a very wonderful thing. It starts working the moment we are born and doesn't stop unless and until we are stand to speak in public. Our mind actually stops working when we are asked to stand up in public and speak." So, you know the problem, but you have to know the solution. And this is what the subject is all about. You will be engaging yourself in public speaking. After a couple of years, everybody will have a fabulous career. You'll be invited to speak at many occasions. So today I'm going to share with you how to become a very good public speaker. And first and foremost, you have to be very confident. Have good command over your subject. Have good knowledge. Now I'm going to start sharing, so please pay attention. The quality of your life depends upon the quality of your communication. In my earlier lectures, even in my earlier sessions, even I have told you many a times that how you communicate matters a lot. What you communicate is important, but how you communicate is very important. I told you about the non-verbal communication cues even. I told you that 58 to 65 and sometimes 90, even to an extent 100% is body language. Then comes your tone, which is 35% maximum. Sometimes it is 20 to 25%. And least importance is of the content. Maximum its range goes up to 7%. But what we give importance is to content. You have to communicate on the whole, not only orally, in written way, but even how you communicate with your body, how you share your views. It is really very important. How you hold yourself. That is really very important. The way you carry yourself, the way you dress up, the way you hold your body, the way you work with time. That is really very important. How you can overcome all this is all what is speaking skills. The quality of your communication. It matters a lot. Over a period of time, it is best realized public speaking in this world have a few things in common. People who are interested in mastering the art of public speaking can adopt the following traits. But before we move on to what is public speaking, I must tell you how many types of public speaking is there. You can go for impromptu, as the word suggests. It is done on the prompt. When suddenly you are called upon in public, that I would request my best friend couple to come up and say a few words. Suppose you are on a dinner party. You have been invited for a dinner party, and you have been asked to raise a toast. That is an impromptu. You can be asked to give a vote of thanks. You can you can be called upon in honor to come up on the stage and say a few words. That is what public speaking is. That is impromptu. You have been called on the prompt. You have to be well prepared, not with the data, but you have to be well prepared with the fact that you can be asked to speak. You cannot just lay back and relax that, okay, I'm least concerned. How can I be called? No, you can be called upon. You can be asked to raise a toast. You can be asked to say a few words about your friend on his bachelor's party, or recall a fine incident of childhood or from college days. On a farewell party, you can be called upon on the stage and say that I would request, yes, you, please come up and say a few words. What if you have been pointed out? What if the spotlight falls on you? Take a deep breath, relax, think, don't just babble. Don't utter anything. Babble means start uttering anything that comes to your mind. No. Take a take a deep breath. Relax for 30 seconds. Think how are you going to begin? And then start. Don't take a desperate plunge, as I've told you in earlier lectures. Please don't. Don't get uh, you know don't get carried away with the moment. Relax. Take a time and then say. Then there is extemporaneous. Extemporaneous is when you are supposed to stand up and speak on the extemporary. You don't have the data with you. It is there in your mind. You know it. Like suppose if I'm teaching something in the class, you are sitting there, and I ask you that tell me something about public speaking, or give a refresher about non-verbal communication. Say we are meeting after a vacation of 10-15 days, or there was some kind of a thing that we couldn't meet for the classes, say about 10 days of gap. And I point you out and I say, give a refresher. That is an extemporaneous because every data is there in your mind, but the text is not in front of you. I ask you not to look into the notes. Please tell me where was I, and in a nutshell, for 5 minutes, tell me where was I? What was I discussing last? What was the context of our communication? So that's an extemporaneous. For example, if I am asked to engage the next lecture in your class, I'm not carrying any notes. I'm not well prepared. So then that's an extemporaneous. I can carry on. I can speak about certain things. I do have the data on me in my mind. I know what is communication. I can tell you anything about it. I can tell you the significance of it. I can discuss any question on which can come in the exam. I can give you tips on how to write in the exam. That's it, extemporaneous. That maybe you are not well prepared, but because you have the ideas in your mind, you can share. You are well prepared because you know you can be asked to do this. Okay, then comes manuscript. It is somewhere between, like right now I'm doing. The manuscript is in front of me. The notes are in front of me. Whatever I have to do is that I have to look into the notes. I have to look at the heading and I have to start explaining. That is what manuscript is all about. But then you have to be a very good reader. Unless and until you're a very good reader, you won't be able to suffice the purpose. Because maybe you'll fall on your poor vocabulary, you're not able to read the word, you're not well prepared, you haven't gone through the text. There are n number of issues that can come in front of you. You can even be a very, some people have problems with their pronunciation. So you can even face that issue. So you have to be well prepared. You have to read the manuscript. You have to be well prepared that what comes next. Everything has to be numbered. If you're carrying a manuscript, see to it that the pages are numbered. Unless and until the pages are numbered, you won't be able to make sense of what is going to come next. Maybe you start with something else, and then you realize that you are on page number 7 instead of 6. The notes have to be clipped properly. They should not, they should not be loose sheets. It should be impeccably written or printed. The script should not be dim. Dim typescript should not be there. It should not be a poor photostat or a poor printout. It should be legible enough. Even the fonts should be legible. If you have chosen 10, then you won't be able to read properly. You have to choose a proper font so that if you fall somewhere, you can come back to the notes and read. But there is a point in manuscript that you have to keep on turning the pages while you're speaking, because you know that now I have reached the second page. Now I have reached the third page. So by and by, please keep on turning the pages equal. Otherwise, if you fall short of data on page number 5, then what will happen? That then you will somehow lose the continuity. You lose the continuity. You will fall behind. You won't be able to justify your speech. So you have to keep on in space with the data to keep on turning. Then comes memorization. This is the fourth kind of presentation, and that is memorization. It is somewhere between extemporaneous and manuscript. Because extemporaneous says that it is there in your mind, it is there embedded in your memory. Embedded means recorded in your memory. And if you talk about the manuscript, then it is there in front of you even. Why? Because even if you have memorized, the sheet is there in front of you. Like the perfect paradigm means example of this presentation is me. I know the text, I have created this text, it is committed to my memory, it is embedded in my memory, I have taught it many a times, but still the notes are always in front of me so that I do not miss anything. Right now I'm teaching you, right now I am delivering a lecture, the notes are there in front of me. I will keep on turning them. If you follow me correctly, if you follow me, then you'll see that I keep on changing the pages so that if there is anything that I may not skip, there should not be any scope for skipping. There should not be any scope for vacuum, because communication abhors vacuum. Communication abhors vacuum means that there should not be a fallback. There should not be a vacuum. There should not be a break. It should go on in continuity. Now, if you talk about the memorization, then the manuscript is in front of you, like it is in front of me right now, and I am speaking extemporaneous because everything is committed to my memory too. But you have to see to it that you do not get into the habit of cramming. Cramming means roting. Roting means ratana. You cannot like a parrot, you cannot rote everything. You cannot cram everything. Cramming is sometimes a big barrier. You'll fall back badly because you may forget something. And if you forget something, then you won't be able to come back with the same effect. And communication has to be very effective. The public speaking has to be very effective. So there are certain things, the following traits. Now, For starters, please try and understand nobody is born with these traits. Nobody. You cannot say you're a prodigy. You just chisel yourself. You work on them, you improve yourself, you learn, and you master the art of public speaking. Just see to it that you have to chisel your personality. The personality of the speaker does matter. Accept it or reject it. Public speaker is always judged by his or her audience, not only on the basis of the content, but also on the basis of the personality. As I've told you, people see you before they hear you. So dress to impress because people are looking at you. They will come to know where you stand. What is your standard? People will look at you. They will judge you because accept it or not, we are all judgmental. We judge people. We carry an impression. Even there is a saying, first impression is the last impression. So you have to see to it that you dress to impress and you carry the right kind of accessories. As I've already told you during the REFAC session, that you have to carry the metallic pen. Metallic pen is very important. Please don't carry a plastic pen. Then you must carry a pointer if you are going for a public speaking or a presenting and for a presentation. And if you are going to run your PPT, make sure that you have a pointer, digital pointer, like it's a kind of a light that you throw on the pertinent material and you strike off that this is what I'm talking about. So you can use a digital pointer. Personality, if you talk, then it is the way that you dress and the way you carry yourself on the stage will make a huge impact on the quality of your presentation. Be confident. You have dressed properly. You are comfortable, but comfort does matter. You have to dress to impress. You have to be in the formals. But please see to it that you are even comfortable. You're not wearing anything or something in which you are not able to breathe. Please wear dresses according to the season. Don't wear silk shirts in summers because you'll sweat a lot. You won't be able to concentrate on your presentation. See to it that you are not dehydrating yourself. Have a glass of water, take a sip. It doesn't make you less confident. You can always sip. There is no harm in it. Be, you know, be in a very calm and poised position. Hold your body correctly. Don't slouch. Don't just lie down on the podium. Don't take full support. But yes, hold the podium so that you feel confident. You have a good hold over your body. Dressing matters. If you are carrying notes, carry them in a proper folder. See to it that they are marked, they are numbered. You don't make any mistake. They are stapled properly. And you are able to turn them without making much noise. Even if you are carrying index cards, please punch them with a punching machine and move a thread through them or a ribbon so that if you move the cards, they don't fall. And please number them. In case you have not numbered your cards, then please see to it that they are. Because if they fall or anything slips from the bundle or the pack of cards, then you will, feel uncomfortable. You may even lose your confidence. Content and knowledge. Content and knowledge is very important. You cannot speak that you do not know. Like if you remember in my one of the earlier sessions, I talked about saying that okay, my name is Archana and I'm your algebra teacher. And if you ask me anything about algebra, will I be able to tell you? Number theory, will I be able to tell you anything about that? I won't be, because unless and until you know the content, you have the knowledge of that subject, you won't be able to communicate. You will lose confidence. My heart has already started throbbing, telling you that I'm going to teach you algebra because I don't know anything about algebra. So unless and until I know the content, I have the knowledge, I won't be able to make a possible impact upon the audience. And you are always judged by your audience. Audience matter a lot. I have told you that you-ness matters. You factor is important. The receiver's perspective is very important. Receiver is more important than the sender, because sender is perceiving the meaning. He is taking out meaning out of your content. So his understanding is more important. If he is not able to understand, then what's the point in telling him? What's the point in explaining? If the person in front of you is not able to follow what you are saying, and it entirely depends upon the content. The more literate you are, the more talented you are, the more simple you are. I have given you the example of J.B. Priestley even on that. You have to be very simple. And you can only be simple if you know the content. If you don't have the knowledge, if you don't know the content, you will not be able to explain it in a very simple manner. There are a lot of people who speak a lot more than they actually know. It's a very big problem. There is this very funny saying: half the world is composed of people who have nothing to say and they keep on blabbering all the time. And half the world is composed of people who have something to say but they don't know how to say. Content and knowledge matters, but it even matters how you say, how you put it. You must know how to put it even. Read as much as possible about the topic from as many sources as possible. You know, uh, in order to make the sessions easy and interesting, I have to search for the anecdotes. They are not from my childhood that I know each and every story, but I have to make them simple. I have to make them understandable. That is the content, the knowledge. Read as much sources as you can. I have told you that these are the notes. You can use them as primary source. You can entirely depend upon them. You can use them as a secondary source and keep them just for reference. But see to it that they have been designed according to your syllabi. So this is the content that you have to follow. And unless and until, if I don't give you the liberty, say if I don't give you the liberty to go through as number of sources as you wish to, then will you be able to increase the horizon of your knowledge? You won't be able. You have to broaden the horizon of your knowledge. And for that, you have to go through as many sources as possible. This will widen your perspective and will help in taking an intelligent stand. It will make your speech very effective. It will make your speaking very engaging. You have to be very engaging. You have to attract the attention of the audience. The grasp of the audience is really very difficult, but you have to keep them retained. You have to grab their attention. And grabbing the attention of the audience is an art. Unless and until you have widened your perspective, you won't be able to do that. You have to, read and read as much as you can and absorb. You have to assimilate the knowledge. You have to increase the level of your understanding and retention even, because what's the point in reading so much of material if you're not able to retain it? You are supposed to retain it even, so that you can take an intelligent stand. Sometimes it happens when a public speaker is speaking something and an audience raises a hand, and simply the direction of the presentation is maneuvered in another way. The direction entirely changes. So you have to be well read. You have to be well prepared. You have to be very intelligent. You can't get angry. You can't say that, okay, let me speak first, let me finish. No. If the direction of the presentation is slightly moving off, it's going off track, you have to go with the flow. You have to answer that query. You have to satisfy that person. And you won't be able to do it if your perspective is not broad, if you are not able to take that intelligent stand. And that will only happen when you have a broad perspective, when you are well read, when you are well informed, when you have in gone through all the recent data. Sometimes you have to even update yourself. Don't you update your apps like WhatsApp? Sometimes it asks for updation. You say later, but knowledge and content have to be updated then and there. If you feel that you are lacking behind, you're falling short of material, you have to update yourself. Unless and until you go through 15, 20 sources, you won't be able to come to the conclusion that which one is best and which one is well suited. Okay, now we move on to audience profile. As a public speaker, you should be well aware of your audience. Now, as I told you, that if you want to judge a person, you should know the experience, the environment, and the education of that person. The audience profile is really very important, because unless and until you know about the audience, you won't be able to communicate with them. Like in some earlier session, I told you, what if I am I supposed to speak to or communicate with students of primary level, primary school? Then will I be communicating in the same vocab, sharing the same technical details? Won't I make it very simple? Won't I make it more interesting, more engaging, so that students love it? Yours is technical, but I have to make, for them, I have to make them non-technical. To an extent, I have to make it non-technical for you too. But then, audience profile is really very important. Why? Because their background, their profession, expectations, and priorities should be my primary concern. That what is the background? Are they BSc students? Are they management graduates? Or they are PG students? Or they are research scholars? What is the profession? Are they students? Are they academicians? Have I to elucidate in the same manner if I am speaking in an FDP? FDP is a faculty development program. Will I be so illustrative? I don't have to be. I don't have to give the meaning of each and every word that I'm using, because I expect that faculty must be knowing these words. They will be very much familiar with this vocabulary. They must be knowing this technical jargons that I'm talking about. These technical jargons should be there in their vocabulary. This is the expectation. And what is the expectation of the audience? That they should be well informed. They should be given proper content. That they should be explained in a very simple manner. Priority. What is the priority of the audience? Is it for knowledge? Is it for entertainment? Is it for information? What is it for? What is his priority? You have to speak accordingly. This exercise will provide you with valuable insight on how to structure the talk. Structuring the talk is really very important. You have to take a proper introduction, proper body, and proper conclusion. How will you do that? Unless and until you know the background, the profession, the expectations and priorities of the audience. How will you define that you factor? How will you be able to produce your ideas? How will you put forward your opinions if you don't know what is the expectation or the profile of the audience? What if the screen opens and class 2 students are sitting there? What if I have prepared myself for 10 plus 2 students and the screen opens and or if I go to a university to speak and I see that all the faculty members are sitting there? So I have to know that who is my audience. It is really very important. Then next comes passion. People may forget what you say, but they will rarely forget your emotions about the topic. You have to be passionate about your topic, about your field of study. It takes a lot of energy. You have to be well driven. You have to motivate your own self. You have to stand for yourself. You have to, guide yourself each and every day, because people will forget what you said, but they will not forget the emotions behind the topic that you took for that day. You will be remembered for your zeal. After spending years in professional public speaking business, I can say one thing without any doubt, that it is possible to increase or decrease your emotional intensity about any topic. Like, I'm too obsessed with teaching. Teaching is my passion. I took it 21 years back as a choice, not as a resort that I have nothing to do, so I should resort to teaching. Teaching was always in my desire. It was a passion. It was an obsession I always wanted to follow. So it is entirely dependent upon me if I can increase or decrease my emotional intensity. Now, here emotional intensity means how much emotionally attached I am to my subject, not about how I'm attached to people. Like I may be emotionally attached to my son, my husband, my parents. But that's not what I'm talking about. What I am talking about is the emotional intensity, the degree to which you are attached with your subject. How passionate about you? How passionate are you to increase the horizon of your knowledge? How important it is for you to speak? How important it is for you to make a mark on people, leave an impact on lasting impact on people. People should remember you speaking in the class. That is the emotional intensity. And you can increase and you can decrease with your tone, with your passion, and with your psyche. You can do that. How much you believe or do not believe will be sensed by the audience to a great extent. Like if I'm telling you that you should be confident, but if I don't believe in being confident, you it can be extreme to an extreme sense limit. It can be sensed by you can sense it that whether I am myself convinced with it or not. If I say that you can go in your casuals for your meeting, like how confident am I? Am I sounding confident that you can go in your casuals? If I say dress formally, you can sense whether I believe in this particular thing or not. You have to understand that you can be sensed by the audience. So the audience can feel you. They will be able to make out whether you are convinced with this fact or not, whether you are yourself comfortable with this thing or not. Okay, now we move on to next thing, that is non-verbal communication. It is said that about 60% of any communication is done non-verbal. I've told you that it can be 70, 80, 90, and even 100 in case of physically, uh, differently able. We should not say physically disabled, differently able. Okay, so it can be 60% minimum. In certain books, you will even find 56%, 54%. So the standard is 60%, but everywhere you will find that any communication is done 60% non-verbal. The way you hold your body, the way you stand, the way you sit, the way you put your arms, the way you take a stance, the way you carry your dress up, your accessories, the way you arrive, the car that you have come by, or the mode of any other mode of travel, or what is the time that you have arrived on, whether you're late, whether you're early, whether you're on nick of time, how impeccably you are dressed up, what content are you going to deliver, how confident you are, how much physical distance you are maintaining with people, what is the paralanguage, that is the tone, the articulation, the pronunciation, how chiseled you are, how confident you are, how much knowledge you have, and how you impart it. Even to an extent, you can say that if you come in touch with people, how you touch them. Because I told you that the whole nonverbal communication is four pack: kinesics, that is body language; O is oculesics, that is how you communicate with your eyes; proxemics is the physical distance; paralanguage is the features of language that you are speaking. If my volume is raised, if my tone is right, if my pronunciation is okay, if I'm putting the right stress at the right moment, This is all paralanguage. Then is artifacts. That is how what accessories are you carrying? What for? When I told you that how you have traveled, by what car have you come? C is chronomics. It is the time dimension. Have you come early? Have you if you have come late? If you have on nick of time like a professional, not a penny less, not a penny more times. Even touch. If you give a firm handshake, if you give a very sloppy kind of a handshake, if you touch people in a very, say, atrocious manner, strange manner, if you, like, suppose, if I'm shaking hand with some senior, I will shake hand, and I can even cover his hand with my left hand to show a sense of gratitude. I can bend a little, not very much like a bow the way Japanese do, but then a slight bow in sense of reverence, in sense of respect. But what I cannot pat on his shoulder with my left hand because he's my senior, she's my senior. Now this pat on his shoulder or her shoulder will show as if I am being superior. My superiority complex will come to the fore. Okay, so you have to pay attention to this. The best public speakers pay a lot of attention to their non-verbal communication, tonal quality, body language. A simple message can be amplified by variation in tone and appropriate usage of body movement. Now, if you remember from school days that few people were selected to read in the class because their tonal quality was good. What if you were supposed to stand and read? Even if you were supposed to sit and read, the paralanguage matters. And when you are standing in public and speaking, then your paralanguage and your body language are of utmost importance because your message can be amplified by this. Next comes fun and emotional questions. It has been proven that the audience will remember a message only if it has one or more of the following two elements. That is humor or emotional appeal. Humor is a very important thing. And for public speaking, there has been a quotation I would like to share. Public speaking, yeah, speaking skill is like a love affair. Any fool can begin, but it takes considerable intelligence to put an end to it. So people will remember you for two things. In fact, your speech for two things: the humor or the emotional appeal. That's how much emotions you have added, how convinced you sound, how knowledgeable, how passionate you sounded about your own topic, about your own content, and the humor. If you have added a humor, people remember you for making them laugh. And humor is an art. You're not supposed to act like a clown, but then humor is a very instrumental thing. It's really very important. You must know how to use it. And humor is very dangerous to use even. Because there is a saying in Hindi, मजाक वो होता है जिसपे सब हंसते हैं, मजाक वो नहीं होता जो किसी का उड़ाया जाता है. Humor is a very dangerous weapon. You have to use it with care, utmost care and precision. The best presentation have both these components, that is the humor and the emotional appeal. Now, next comes medium. Once you have done your research about the topic and the audience profile, think about the best medium to convey the message of your presentation. Now, when it comes to giving a presentation, what is the best medium that you will choose? I believe in this this visual aids. I firmly believe in visual aids. It keeps the attention of the audience grasped. You can make a PPT, you can share notes, you can share a PDF, and then you can present. It contains the audience. People remember. People tend to remember it. People don't tend to, lose attention. The mode of communication selectivity can be overcome. I told you communication selectivity, if you remember, that when people wander off to their some daydreaming, then come back, and then again their mind wanders, and then again they come back. That is communication selectivity. So you have to choose your medium even with precision. Work on your medium even. Unless and until you choose the correct medium, the desired impact won't be made. So see to it that if you really need a PowerPoint, or there is a better way of communicating your ideas about the topic. Do you really need it? Will you be able to grasp the attention of the audience without a PPT? Will you be able to present your ideas with precision, with humor and emotional appeal? Because you have to keep this in mind. Last but not the least, practice. Practice, practice, and more practice. Repetition is the mother of all skills. You have to repeat and repeat, repeat till you reach that perfection. At the beginning of this session, I shared an anecdote. The woman kept on practicing until she was well prepared for the day of presentation. More you practice on your presentation, better are your chances of perfecting it. The more and more we read, the more and more we practice, we come to know about the loopholes. We come to know about the vacuums. And please remember, communication abhors vacuum. You cannot and you should not take chances with your public speaking. Stand in front of a mirror, speak for a few minutes on a different topic every day. Feel as if you have an audience. You can even ask your friends to help you out. Today, there is this thing of this, what do you call benefit. You are born in this age. You have a benefit of technology. You can call 4 people on a video chat, make a video call, and put your laptop or mobile on a stand and stand and practice. 4 people can really give you a very good feedback. You can even use a mirror. We are our best critics. We can really find the flaws in ourselves. If possible, record yourself on a phone camera, mobile camera, or laptop camera. Public speaking is learnable skill, and anybody can master this skill if they decide to. If you have this feel in you that you have to, then you will. Because if I wish, I will. If I don't have that conviction, if I'm not myself convinced that I'll be able to do it and I have to do it, then I won't be able to do it. Always remember that fire is within you. You have to keep yourself motivated. Drive is really very important. You should be self-driven, self-motivated. If you wish to master the skill, you will. Come what may, you will do it. Nothing can stop you. What will stop you? Only practice will stop you. If you practice, you will achieve. Because practice makes a man perfect. This is where I end my session today. This is what I wanted to share you about the public speaking skill. I will meet you soon in the next session and we will begin on monologue, dialogue, and so many other things of interest. Thank you so much. Keep safe, take care of yourself, study and prepare yourself. You have to do a lot of research. Keep yourself well informed. Okay? Take care. Thank you.